You may have been taught that creating your ideal life is a complicated process, one that demands elaborate rituals, perfectly worded affirmations, vivid visualizations, and constant effort to raise your energetic frequency. But what if I told you that quantum manifestation is actually profoundly simple? So simple, in fact, that most people overlook how to do it properly. You are already immersed in a quantum field, a realm of infinite potential where countless outcomes are possible. This field does not respond to how hard you try. It responds to the alignment of your inner state. Most people, however, approach manifestation like a battle. They attempt to overpower their current reality through sheer willpower. Even when their bodies are still trapped in patterns of fear, scarcity, and stress, they try to force change by repeating affirmations they don't believe, visualizing outcomes they quietly doubt, and pushing themselves to think positively. And this is where everything begins to unravel. Because in the quantum realm, resistance is friction, and friction distorts the signal. Let's simplify everything. Quantum manifestation isn't about chasing your desires or getting your goals. It's about collapsing the version of reality where you already have them. It's not about changing the outer world first. It begins with attuning to the inner signal that naturally draws that version of the world toward you. Every possibility, success or failure, abundance or lack, love or isolation, vitality or struggle already exists as a wave within the quantum field. All outcomes are real, waiting to be observed. But here's where the mystery becomes magic. That wave of possibility doesn't solidify into your lived reality until it meets a coherent observer, you. Your focus, your emotional state, and your deep attention are what collapse the wave into form. These are not passive traits. They are the creative forces behind your reality. Yet most people remain stuck in a loop. They observe life from fear. They try to call in abundance while radiating the frequency of lack. They seek love while vibrating in the frequency of loneliness. In the language of quantum mechanics, what they send out is a noise, not signal. True manifestation is not a fight. It is an allowing, a remembering, a returning to the natural coherence between who you are within and the reality that is already waiting to meet you. You have been directed to pursue the things that you desire. When it comes to manifestation, however, the true art is in becoming the version of yourself that no longer requires you to pursue after. It is the version of you that remembers that I am already involved in the life that I want to live. At this moment, the field is awaiting my signal. My objective is not to exert more effort. That is to make it more evident. And why is it that people don't do this? Due to the fact that simplicity is powerful. Because it is not natural to let go of something. Mostly due to the fact that giving up on the pursuit seems like giving up. Here, however, is the paradox that nobody ever discusses. The instant you no longer have such a pressing need for it, the field will be able to finally deliver it to you. I'll illustrate this with an example. Consider an instance in which you were able to effortlessly come up with anything. It's possible that you happened to meet the ideal person by chance, that you won an opportunity that you weren't even looking for, or that you had a breakthrough thought while you weren't even attempting to think about it. In what way does this all connect? You were not able to hold out. You were not being coercive. I found you to be open, aligned, and available. You may or may not be aware of the fact that this is an example of quantum manifestation in action. As you can see, the quantum is not concerned with what you have to say. It will read your vitality. You can declare, I am wealthy 1,000 times. But if your body is still sending out signals of worry, if your heart is still clenched in fear of shortage, and if your nervous system is still hooked to struggle, the field will reflect that turmoil back to you. Not because it is cruel, but rather precisely because it is accurate. The significant change is as follows. It is when you stop focusing on receiving and start focusing on being that you will begin the process of quantum manifestation. Become the signal that you are. This frequency is embodied by you. You have allowed it, not your own efforts, but rather the state's. Nevertheless, this brings up an important question. Regarding the quantum field, what exactly is the response it has? Does it consist solely of ideas, feelings, beliefs, and actions? And what is the best way to align these layers so that they do not deliver contradictory messages? At this point, the majority of teachings on manifestation begin to come apart. They concentrate on a single component, which is typically sensations or thoughts, without taking into account the more fundamental coherence of the system. They encourage you to think positively without giving any attention to the trauma that is stored in your body. It is recommended that you envision without first addressing the subconscious sabotage that is causing you to fail. While your nervous system is still preparing for failure, they instruct you to speak positively about your accomplishments. Nevertheless, the quantum takes in the entirety of the signal, the indication that is comprehensive and embodied. One reason why alignment is not a mental game is because of this. This is a whole field shift, full body shift, and full system shift. In the following section of our journey, we are going to delve into the specifics of how the quantum field operates, the significance of the observer effect, the true meaning of the term, wave collapse, and the manner in which your subconscious mind sends out messages, even while you are unaware of having done so. In this article, we will reveal the sophisticated mechanisms that lie behind what appears to be magic. I'm going to demonstrate to you why the most effective method of manifestation is to cease making such a big effort. So let me ask you a question that is open-ended. In addition, I would like to extend an invitation to you to sit with this as we get ready for the following portion. Where in your life are you exerting such a great deal of effort, and do you find that you have become the very obstacle that you are attempting to overcome? Prepared to delve even further into the quantum world with me? We are going to delve even farther into the mystery that you have been circling about without even being aware of. Your wishes are not being taken into consideration by the quantum field. It is reacting to the coherence that you have. The essence of quantum manifestation is not about thoughts alone, emotions alone, or even deeds alone. It is about all of these things and more. How these three components come together to form a coherent signal that the field can read without any distortion is the question at hand. The quantum field can be thought of as a translator between the cosmos. In situations where your thoughts, feelings, and actions are in harmony with one another, the message is unmistakable, the vibration is consistent, and the field reacts practically immediately. But the message becomes jumbled when you are thinking one thing, feeling another, and acting in a manner that is utterly unrelated to what you are thinking and feeling. It is not clarity that the field reflects back, but rather disorder. In this context, the observer effect, which is a fundamental concept in quantum physics, comes into play. The quantum level is characterized by the existence of particles in a state of unadulterated possibility, which we refer to as a wave function. On the other hand, when an observer like yourself zeroes in on a certain possibility, that wave disintegrates into a predetermined occurrence. The hidden becomes visible, the options become more distinct, and reality becomes more solid. But there is a catch to this. More than only your conscious thought, the observer is also you. The observer is also associated with your subconscious. If your subconscious is wired for survival, scarcity, or fear, then the field will pick up on that secret broadcast even if you consciously want abundance. This is because the field is able to pick up on hidden broadcasts. As a result of your subconscious taking over as the genuine observer, a chronology that you did not consciously choose to collapse appears. This is the reason why so many people experience a sense of being stuck. The surface of their mind is aligning, but they are disregarding the deep programs that are running beneath the surface. It is a fact that the subconscious always emerges victorious in the quantum game, but the game itself is even more fascinating. Researchers such as Joe Dispenza and Bruce Lipton have demonstrated that the electromagnetic field of the heart is significantly more powerful than the electromagnetic field of the brain. In addition to radiating outward, this heart field engages in interaction with the broader quantum field that surrounds you. When your heart and brain are in harmony with one another, you are putting out a tremendous signal that is connected to the whole. The signal starts to become weak and fragmented when they are not in sync with one another. When you try to manifest something from your mind alone, you will almost always be unsuccessful. The quantum field does not have a distinct signal to reflect back, since it does not have the emotional component, which is the sense of alignment that is sensed. Here is where the vast majority of people fail to hit the mark. In reality, people need to feel their way into alignment in order to bring about change, but they desire to reason their way into adjustment. It is not possible to just tell the field what you want. It is necessary for you to cultivate a vibrational fit with it. This involves bringing your body, your breath, your neurological system, your beliefs, and the decisions you make on a daily basis into harmony with one another. It is not a one-time occurrence per se. A living practice is what it is. Let's look at an example from the real world. Let's say you wish to bring love into existence. Affirmations can be written down, vision boards can be created, and you can imagine your ideal mate. But if you are carrying wounds of unworthiness deep inside you, if your neurological system is prepared for rejection, and if your heart is armored and hesitant to open, then the quantum field will feel the tension that you are carrying. A contradiction is brought to light by it. The result is an increase in yearning, an increase in searching, and an increase in relationships that are almost but not quite. It's not that the cosmos is trying to correct you in any way. The reason for this is because it is an exact reflection of your dominant frequency. What exactly is the change? The transition is into coherence, into feeling entire in the present moment, into practicing the feelings of what you seek before it manifests itself, and into embodying the experience of already possessing it, so that the field can condense that timeline into form. First, you become the frequency, and then the form will start to take shape. As of right now, this could appear to be a lot. The straightforward and fundamental reality is as follows. The more you let go of the idea of managing the outcome, and the more you concentrate on regulating your internal state, the more quickly the quantum will react. Because of this, the title of this video states that it is easy to accomplish, but nobody actually does it. This is because the human mind enjoys making things more complicated. How about 10 steps, 5 tricks, and a formula that is guaranteed? However, a machine is not what the quantum is. Yes, that is a mirror. Your partner, this is a dance. In addition to being alive, it is also clever. You are the one who is waiting for you to meet it with a consistent presence that is embodied. I would like to extend an invitation to you to participate in this exercise. Now is the time to take a serious breath. As you listen, pay attention to how your body is feeling. Note the areas in which you are holding stress. Pay attention to the stories that are playing in the background, and for a few moments, show some compassion. The hold should be loosened. The need to correct force and figure out everything should be allowed to go away. Experience what it is like to be okay right here and right now, without the need for things to change anytime soon. The beginning of your power is in this very moment. I would like to welcome you into something that helps anchor this transformation before we move on to the next step. If you are experiencing a sense of recognition, or if something within you is coming to life at this very moment, then you should click the subscribe button. Participate in this space, this discourse, in this community, and when you do so, leave a single word in the comments section that describes the energy that you wish to embody during this week. Perhaps it's a matter of trust. Perhaps it's the convenience of it. Perhaps it is happiness. Your signal is whatever comes to you first, so pay attention to that. Spread the word. What is it? Let's face the facts. Because as soon as you give it a name, you begin to associate yourself with it already. Are you prepared to investigate the reason why no one discusses this aspect of manifestation? The aspect that is so straightforward that it almost seems like someone is cheating? So are you ready to proceed to the next level? What is the reason that nearly no one actually engages in this behavior? Why do so many people continue to be stuck dissatisfied and disappointed, despite the abundance of books, courses, and infinite videos on YouTube that are devoted to the topic of manifestation? This is a straightforward solution, but it is also unsettling, because it is not natural to let go of something. When it comes to control, the human mind is addicted. It has been ingrained in us to believe that the more effort we put out, the more we are entitled to receive. Having to go through that is worth it. The more effort we put in, the greater the likelihood that we will be successful. Consequently, when we come into a system such as quantum manifestation, in which the most important factors are coherence, alignment, and submission, the short circuits that it possesses are programming. In spite of the fact that pushing results is the very frequency that communicates to the field that we do not trust the process, we continue to try to force consequences. All right, let's dissect this. The control trap is what I refer to as the majority of people who are unsuccessful in their attempts to manifest. Continuously monitoring their results is something that they do. At the same time as they are anxiously checking their bank account every hour, they are visualizing abundance. Despite the fact that they write about love, they are obsessed with text messaging and dating apps. They claim to be healthy, yet they check their bodies for signs first thing in the morning. By acting in this manner, they are sending a message of mistrust to the audience. Despite the fact that they are cognitively endorsing one thing, they are subconsciously conveying the opposing sentiment. What is the significance of this matter? The reason for this is that the quantum field does not speak any human language, including English, Spanish, Portuguese, or any other language. The language of energy is what it communicates. Also, energy is not deceitful. If your nervous system is preparing for loss, if your mind is stuck in loops of doubt, and if your body is filled with cortisol, the field will listen to that deeper frequency. This is true even if you utter all the appropriate words. This explains why a large number of people are worn out. As a result of their hypervigilance, scarcity, and lack of resources, they are engaging in all of the activities that are available to them. And so the cycle continues. More waiting, more lack, more work, and more searching are all manifestations of their presence. Due to the fact that from an energetic standpoint, they are not in the realm of already having, they are now in the process of attempting to obtain. But this is when things start to become even more oblique. Approximately 95% of your life is controlled by your subconscious mind. The automatic pilot is the component that is responsible for molding your routines, beliefs, emotional responses, and sense of identity. It is possible that you are actively seeking a breakthrough. Nevertheless, if your subconscious is rooted on previous experiences, then I am not sufficient. There is no success. I am the type of person that must battle for everything. Because of those stories, the wave will continue to collapse into the same old conclusions. The reason why affirmations that lack embodiment feel empty is because of this. This is the reason why visualizations that do not involve the management of the nervous system fail. Consequently, burnout is the result of action that is not linked with one's identity. So what are your options? First things first, you have to realize that quantum manifestation is not something that you can add to your life. A recalibration of your entire system is being performed. It's a reflection, a coming back to the past. In order to achieve this, you must first become the version of yourself that resides within the timeline that you wish before you see any evidence of that timeline in the world outside of you. For instance, if you want to bring about abundance, you should work on feeling abundant right around the moment. Not in the future, not when the money's delivered, but right now. Self-care, presence, and generosity are the ways in which you treat yourself. Instead of micromanaging the outcome, you stop trying to control it and instead concentrate on being a trustworthy person. You must begin to love yourself right now if you want to experience love. You become the kind of partner you want to attract by opening your heart, softening your edges, and being exactly who you want to be. Because you are already sufficient, you stop looking for approval and begin living your life as if you are already enough. If you want to be healthy, you need to stop looking for problems in your body and start focusing on the benefits that your body already possesses. You transition from a state of survival to one of resilience. You cultivate an attitude of gratitude toward the body you possess while simultaneously tenderly directing it toward greater vitality. This is where the paradox lies. When you no longer require it immediately, it will arrive more quickly. You are no longer the resistance, and this is not because the world is putting you through a test, or even because it is playing a game with you. Okay, now allow me to ask you this. During what point in your life do you still find yourself gripping the steering wheel with your knuckles white? Exactly where are you continuing to measure track force and chase after something? What would happen if you relaxed your hold on the situation by just 10%? This is not about being passive. Rather, it is about transitioning from being in control to being in a position of co-creation. Pause with that for a moment. It is precisely at this change, which is subtle, powerful, and revolutionary, that the process of quantum manifestation truly starts to take place. In the following section, we are going to discuss the straightforward methods that are rarely utilized, but which have the potential to assist you in realigning your system, regulating your state, and becoming the clearest signal possible pertaining to the quantum field. During this session, we will discuss how to overcome resistance without ignoring your genuine feelings, how to establish a good relationship with your subconscious, as well as the means by which you can enter the timeline of your choice as if it were already yours. Therefore, before we go, I would want to ask you a question that you should think about. In what aspects of your life are you holding on so firmly that you have become the very obstacle that you are attempting to clear away? As a result, here we are right on the brink of the most potent truth in quantum manifestation. The part that almost no one discusses, the part that is concealed in plain sight. This is what it is. Rather than manifesting what you want, you are the one who brings it into existence. Not only is this a beautiful concept, but it is also a basic principle that determines the way in which the quantum field interacts with that person. There is no response from the field to your words, your vision boards, or your Pinterest affirmations that are thought to be great. It reacts to the signal that your being sends out, the vibratory signature that you bring into every room, every idea, and every encounter that you have. Furthermore, this signal is constructed moment by moment, not by the actions you take, but by the way you conduct yourself. Allow me to illustrate this point using a metaphor. Conceive of yourself as a radio. It is not possible to sit there and demand music from the cosmos while also listening to heavy metal radio. If you want to hear jazz, you must listen to heavy metal. You are going to need to dial the dial. You will need to adjust your frequency so that it corresponds to the ones you wish to receive. This is also true for the process of quantum manifestation. While you are vibrating in the frequency of the timeline you are attempting to leave behind, you will not be able to pull in the timeline that you wish simultaneously. In that case, how do you adjust the dial? You begin by becoming aware of the frequency that you are now operating at. Not only what you think, but also how you feel about things. I'm curious about how your body moves throughout the day. When you're under a lot of pressure, how do you breathe? In your mind, what are some of the stories that keep playing over and over again? The majority of us are not intentionally presenting ourselves. We are manifesting on autopilot, repeating the same states, the same emotions, and the same energy broadcasts over and over again. The field, on the other hand, faithfully reflects such traits back to us. When you stop the pattern not with raw force or with frenetic effort, but with simple embodied practices, the change occurs. This cannot be accomplished through other means. To put it another way, it can be as simple as taking a conscious breath in the midst of a moment of fear, as compassionate as resting a hand on your heart when you are sliding into self-doubt, or as daring as asking yourself, what would the version of me who already has this do right now? And then doing one little action from that place, mostly due to the fact that nobody tells you this. The quantum does not require you to be flawless in any way. All that is required of you is to be coherent. When your ideas, feelings, and actions all travel in the same direction, you are said to be coherent inside yourself. In other words, it is the moment when you cease talking one thing, feeling another, and acting in a completely different manner. When this occurs, your entire system will be operating with a single unified signal. Moreover, when you reach that state, even for a short period of time, you generate a gravitational pull in the field environment. There is a gradual shift in the way reality is. Now let's get down to business. If you wish to be an embodiment of abundance, you should practice generosity. Generosity is not limited to monetary gifts. It also includes attention, time, and energy. Your neurological system should be trained to feel the sensations of, I have enough, even if the numbers in your bank account have not yet caught up to the feelings you are experiencing. You must learn to be vulnerable if you wish to be the embodiment of love. Your heart should be opened in a few brave and modest ways. Create the secure environment that you have been searching for in another person. Put your presence into practice if you want to be a healthy person. Attend to your physical self. Allow it to eat, move about, and rest from a place of respect rather than one of punishment. This is the simple way to go. In spite of this, very few people actually walk it, since it requires you to take the initiative to become the frequency before the proof arrives, and to lead with being rather than requirement. And with that, we arrive at one of the most misunderstood aspects of the entire discussion around manifestation: emotional control and management. Many people believe that manifestation is about constantly feeling positive about oneself. It is not the case. Having a constant sense of authenticity and the ability to pull your system back into harmony whenever you experience a wobble are both essential. This entails showing acceptance for your feelings rather than avoiding them. Keeping fear at bay without allowing it to take control of the situation is what it entails. Engaging in emotional fluency training is necessary in order to successfully navigate waves without becoming submerged in them. The truth is as follows: you are going to shake. You will have doubts. On other days, you will feel as though the previous timetable is pulling at your heels. That is all right. The power does not lie in that it never falls. What matters is how you get back. This is the invitation that I am sending to you right now. Pause for a moment. Take note of your current location. To determine which chronology I am currently tuned to, you should ask yourself, does it come from a place of trust or from a place of fear? The question is it the one of scarcity or the one of plenty? It is the one of arriving or the one of waiting, which is different. No judgment, simply a simple observation. Due to the fact that the instant you become aware, you establish a choice point, and choice is the key that unlocks the door to coherence. The following block is going to be the one in which we bring everything together. In this session, we will discuss how to transform these realizations into a live practice, how to gracefully traverse obstacles, and how to maintain the frequency that collapses your dream timeline into reality. I would like to use this opportunity to express my gratitude to you for making it this far in our adventure. Please click the subscribe button if you are experiencing feelings of being lit up, if you are experiencing feelings of being seen, and if you are sensing that something within you is already altering. Participate in this community, with this conversation, and in this space. Additionally, in the comments section, please leave a term that encapsulates your current aim. Allow, grow, or flow could be the word that best describes the situation. The word in question serves as your signal to the field regardless of what it is. Now we are here, the last piece of the puzzle to be found. This is something that I want you to keep in mind. There is no performance involved in manifestation. It is a routine for us. One does not become an expert in it all at once. The experience is something that you live moment by moment, decision by decision. A significant number of individuals are unable to break free from the mentality that manifestation is about doing more, hacking the system, or improving the formula. On the other hand, the most compelling manifestors are not necessarily the ones who are the most knowledgeable about tactics. They are the ones who have acquired the techniques necessary to maintain a coherent state and to bring oneself back into harmony in the face of the inevitable disruptions that life brings. Due to the fact that this is the truth, there will be times when you are put to the test. There are going to be times when you will sense fear returning, when you will hear old patterns whispering in your ear, and when the timeline you are attempting to leave feels as though it is pulling you back. And during those times, you will be tempted to go back into control mode, to push, to force, and to micromanage everyone you are dealing with. But this is where the true mastery lies. Are you able to maintain the frequency of trust even while the evidence has not yet entered your possession? Is it possible for you to maintain the vibe of things being finished while the world continues to appear the same? If you are able to become so firmly established in the new timeline, the old one will no longer be able to entice you. The concept of embodiment becomes non-negotiable at this point. So let's go ahead and make this workable. Ask yourself, what frequency am I tuning into today? Before you check your phone first thing in the morning, take a few deep breaths and ask yourself this question. Do we have a scarcity or an abundance? Afraid or trusting? Is it flow or control? Utilize your body as a guide throughout the course of the day. When you have strayed from your alignment, your body will alert you to the situation. You are going to experience the contraction, the tightness, and the strain. Moreover, at that precise moment, there is no need for you to spiral or shame yourself. All you need to do is take a moment to notice, breathe, and readjust. I want to know what the version of me who is now living in the time frame that I want would select right now. Therefore, from that location, carry out one simple action, and before you go to sleep at night, you should go back over the events of the day with an attitude of inquiry rather than judgment. Where exactly did you falter? How did you position yourself? When did you first become aware of your own power? A grateful attitude strengthens coherence. Acknowledge even the most insignificant victories. Here is something that the majority of people overlook. The community is important. We are sociable beings that are full of energy. When we interact with the people around us, we co-regulate. When you surround yourself with people who are committed to embodiment, who are practicing coherence, and who are playing in the quantum field, your system will entrain to the vibration of those people. Because of this, it is of the utmost importance to ensure that your environment is not just physically, but also energetically curated. You should look for the voices, the locations, and the groups that serve as reminders of the person you are becoming. Your field should be filled with reminders of the timeline you have chosen. Allow the world around you to become an ally to the exercise you are doing within yourself. It is important to keep in mind that there is no endpoint. To arrive and then stop is not the goal of the exercise. The goal is to exist within a continual unfolding where you become the living edge of your own progress. This is the point. This is not just about attracting things into your life. It's about becoming the kind of person who lives as a conscious creator, a co-author of reality itself. You're not simply watching life unfold from the outside, you're shaping it from within. And here's the most profound truth: you are not separate from the quantum field. It's not something out there to be controlled or summoned. You are inside it. You are part of it. In fact, you are the field. The waves are not external, they ripple through you. You are the observer, and the observe the signal and the receiver. So when you shift your inner frequency, you're not begging life to meet you. You're stepping into the life that has already been resonating with you. Manifestation isn't about forcing or chasing, it's about aligning. And so I invite you into a gentle act of clarity. In the comments, leave one word, just one, that captures the energy, the essence, the intention you're choosing to carry forward. Perhaps it's trust, perhaps ease, maybe power, or something deeply personal. Let this word be your declaration, a seed planted not only in this space, but also in the vast landscape of your being. If watching this has sparked something in you, a remembrance, a shift, a quiet awakening, I warmly invite you to subscribe. Not just to a channel, but to a shared field of presence. This is not a platform for passive consumption. It's a living space for creators, seekers, and those ready to step fully into their frequency. By subscribing, you're not just following. You're joining a community of minds and hearts exploring what's truly possible. Thank you for being here, not just as a viewer, but as a participant in this unfolding. Keep tuning in, keep aligning, keep playing in the field, because in the quantum realm, reality responds the moment you do.